Alright, for our first lesson we're going to talk about loosening up, and we're going to talk about line work. So when we start drawings, we want to make sure that our hands loosened up, and when we're holding the pencil or whatever it is that we're drawing with, we're not holding it too tight. So what we don't want to do is start out with lines that are really hard and too tight. We want things to be loose. We want our lines to be longer, and we want them to kind of have a nice flow to them. So if you think about it, when you're doing a drawing, if you're doing something big, you can actually think about this in terms of your arm. If this is your arm here, and that's a pencil that you're holding, if you're doing a big drawing, you kind of think about starting the drawing with the movement of your shoulder, and as you move forward with the drawing and you start to work into some of the smaller areas, you start to think about moving with your elbows. So your range of movement is getting less and less as you keep going. Eventually you're only moving your wrist, and then when you finally get into the really small areas, you're just moving your finger. So the main principle for using lines in drawings is that they are light, loose, and long. And this can be easily practiced by holding the instrument about halfway back, whatever it is that you're using. If this is your pencil, holding it about right here, halfway along the barrel of the pencil, and just practicing some nice line work that has these three characteristics. They're not too dark, not too heavy, and they're also not too short. So we're not making lines like this, but we're making lines that are longer, so lines that will actually cover things in your drawing. So you could imagine a line like this might actually, get a good bit of your drawing incorporated into it. It would be a sort of a large part of the figure that you're drawing, where all these little lines really don't describe that much, and it's kind of hard to understand how they're all interconnected. The other advantage to this is it will help you work sort of from larger to smaller shapes by having some of those lines longer. So that's the first thing, and what I want you to do with that is just get a blank piece of paper and just practice these. So just keep making lines like this, and just be really free with it. It's actually an exercise that's kind of fun, even though it's extremely repetitive. It's one of the parts of the drawing process that is very repetitive to learn, but really important later on.